going into the 2025 season, you had that whole thing with 2024 with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the whole shit shows last year with Doug Peterson and him getting fired and Trent Baalke getting his ass finally fired after years of him being a problem, not just for the Jacksonville Jaguars but for the uh, 49ers. And then you look at going into the 2025 off season, you had that whole thing where you hire Liam Cohen from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and ultimately he basically um, double crossed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because again he said he was going to stay with the Buccaneers, and then ultimately he went, and that whole we've talked about it before, but yeah, so Jacksonville hired James Gladstone as the new GM, and well, they hired Liam Cohen before they hired the GM because again, Shad Khan thinks he knows what the fuck he's doing. Shad Khan thinks he knows what he's doing with this fucking organization, but Shad Khan hires Liam Cohen before the GM comes in. So typical dude. Oh. So yeah, Liam Cohen comes in, then James Gladstone comes in, the GM. So instantly the GM doesn't get to pick his own head coach. That's the cons. Um, and then after that, uh, the whole thing with Liam Cohen, dude, whatever, whatever. But anyway, you look at the players that they signed in this draft, like Hunter Long, uh, Nick Mullins came in as a backup quarterback. You got Austin Johnson, defensive tackle, Greg Newsom II from the Browns at cornerback. You got Jacoby Myers, who I thought had a pretty good season for Jacksonville, a wide receiver. Uh, Damari Brown, a wide receiver from the Commanders. So again, you did some decent enough signings there. Hunter Long, like I said, came in. Patrick Markey came in from the Ravens, a guard. So yeah, not a bad off season for like signings. And then the draft approach here, I think one of the best draft picks that they've done in a couple of years here in Jacksonville was Travis Hunter, wide receiver slash. He can play like wide receiver and cornerback, but Travis Hunter coming in second overall from Colorado, what a great addition. And then they traded the next three picks. They traded two to the Browns and then one to the Lions. They also drafted Caleb Ranshaw, cornerback from Tulane. Wyatt Wyatt Mobu, offensive guard from West Virginia. They traded away another pick to the Texans. And later on in the round, they drafted Taysom, running back from Virginia Tech. Jack Kaiser, linebacker from Notre Dame. Then a few more draft picks were traded back, so they traded away a couple of draft picks to the Browns and the Texans again and the Lions. Then they drafted later on for Jalen McLeod, linebacker from Auburn. Lane the third, safety from Navy, and then LaQuinn Allen, running back from Syracuse, and quarterback Jonah Maine. Jonah Maine from UCSC, from UCSC at cornerback. And then their schedule going into this game, into the season, they started off pretty well, Jacksonville. Like they were like 3-1. They were 3-1 after week 4. So you're looking at this team like, damn, Liam Cohen's got his team playing pretty well at 4-1. Then they get a great win. They come off that bye week at week 8. They beat the Raiders on the road. Beat the Texans on the road in a division game. They beat the Chargers at home. They beat the Cardinals on the road in overtime. They beat the Titans a division game on the road. They beat the Colts. They beat like the Jets, and they get a great road win against Denver. And then they finish off the regular season with a great road win against the Colts. And then they destroyed the Tennessee Titans in week 18 at home. Trevor Lawrence had over 4,000 passing yards for the 2025 season. Rushing yards, Travis Etienne had over 1,000 rushing yards in 2025. You look at this Jacksonville, I mean, points for the 6th best offense in the league. They were really good in offense. I thought they had the 6th best offense in the league. Really good stuff, I thought, from Liam Cohen. I just think really one thing that's holding Jacksonville down from doing anything good is the quarterback position. I don't rate Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I know he's putting up 4,000 passing yards. I just really think he's overrated by the fan base, by a lot of like people in football. I just don't think he's that good. He's not that guy. And you know, when it comes to the big moments, Trevor Lawrence doesn't deliver, especially when it comes to playoff time. But yeah, if you look at regular season, like 6 out of 32, like the 6th best offense in the league, not bad again. I think you can still improve on that. Points against, though, they're the 8th best defense in the league. So again, you're in the top 10 for your best defense in the league. They have about 42 million in dead cap space, which also means that they only have like 9 million to play with in cap space. So you've not got really a lot to play with. You got to be smart, maybe release, just move a couple of people around. But you look at the offense. I've got Brian Robinson Jr. They have Travis Etienne. So they've not got a Parker Washington. They've not got a bad roster, but yeah, I just feel like the quarterback position should be addressed at some point. They do have a 1st round pick, 24th overall, but they're probably going to trade that to the Browns. They have a 2nd round pick. They have a 3rd round pick. A 2nd round pick, 56th overall. A 3rd round pick, 81st overall. They have a 4th round pick, 5th round pick, and 6th round pick. And yeah, it's kind of one of those that you look at Jacksonville. They had a good season. They won their division. It was 13-4. But again, they're in a really shit division. They're in there with the Titans, and it's only like the Titans. They're in there with the Titans and the Colts, and it's like the Texans and the Jags just go at it every year. And yeah, I just I feel like, again, if they had a better quarterback, like, again, I don't put Trevor Lawrence. He's not on a Josh Allen level. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league. I know that ultimately fans are gonna be like, oh my god, Josh Allen's never been to a Super Bowl. But again, if you watch ball knowledge, Josh Allen's a way better quarterback. I would never put a Trevor Lawrence in the same category, in the same conversation as a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson or even a fucking Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, I think they need to down the road think about getting a new quarterback. I just don't rate Trevor Lawrence, especially when it comes to playoff time, and it's just my opinion, guys.